In this lesson, I want to talk about the heading elements in HTML. So headings are indicated by H1, closing H1, content in between is the top heading, and headings do have a structure. So there's headings H1 are the most important and H6 are the least important. And headings can be used to highlight content on your page. They can be used to structure and represent titles for content sections. You should only have one H1 tag per page, and H1 tag should be on the main page. So we'll take a look at some different heading tags here that we have in our WordPress site. So this is just our default WordPress site, and WordPress does headings really well. So when we look at this heading over here, we look at the source code, and it's nested within an H1 tag. So that we see that this is deemed to be important content, and we also see that it's actually reusing that title information within that H1 tag. And we look at the other elements down here. So these are smaller, and see we go down to H2, and then I don't believe there's any H3s, but this one should be an H2 as well. So the way that the structure of the page is that the H1 is the most important, and then we've got a series of H2s that are also valuable heading information for the sections within the web pages. I'm just going over to SEOreviewtools.com, and they have a tool here that can help us search headings. So we're going to do a quick check of getbootstrap.com's headings and how that's structured. So we're just doing a check of that. So there's no H1 headings are found. So take a look at that and see within the source code, we see that this is in fact an H1 heading. So not sure what happened there, but we see that we always have the same type of structure where we do have that H1. So we've got H1 down here, which then we've got the H2. So this is counted as within the title area. So that's why they've got the H1 up there as well. But typically you'd only have one H1 per page. And then as you move down, you move it into H2s. So overview H1, and then we go to H2, and this should be an H2. So all of these subcategories, subsections, all of these main broken down sections are going to be H2s. So this one is an H1 as well. So typically you wouldn't have this type of structure. You'd only be using one H1 per page. But again, so there are some variations that you can do, and doesn't always hurt your search engine rankings. And always keep in mind that you don't want to over SEO. So over here I've got my index.html page, so I've got my H1 up here, and then all the other headings are H2s. So I've got H3s because this is a subheading of the main heading and working all the way down.